I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert in footballs. I'm not an expert in football measurements.
I don't want anyone rubbing them, putting any air in them, taking any air out. To me, those balls are perfect, and that's what I expect when I show up.
I can't turn on the football. It's so goddamn hard about holding on to it.
Introducing Mike Cash Collins and Scott Stacks Simpson as the Fantasy Millionaires.
Are you ready for some fantasy? It's Monday night. The game just hit halftime, and you're logging on your Twitter, and you see the Fantasy Millionaires. Are you ready for some fantasy?
A fantasy night party. We got Alan, Frank, and Dan. Remember that in the 90s or the 80s? That was my favorite song ever. I was like, it's fucking Monday Night Football. My dad would be like, you can watch half an hour before you go to bed. I'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a great intro there.
Oh, thank you, man. You know, got to come up a new one every week. I'm surprised I never sang that song before.
Are you ready?
It's Monday night.
Oh man, it is Monday night. I love Monday night. I love Sunday a lot more than Monday, of course. But I mean, imagine if we had Monday with no Monday Night Football. I think the gods just smiled on us and they said, you know what, listen, Monday fucking sucks. It's the worst day of the week. We all know that. So let's put football on, right? At the end of the day, you're just got busted by the man, had to work, had to put it down, and then you get to pop it up, watch a little football, and you're like, it's back again, one day away. So I love it. And then Thursday, I love Thursday, and then Sunday's back again. So this is just Monday.
Bro, I'm already dreading a couple months from now when there's no Monday Night Football. That's just
don't even talk about that. Don't even bring that. I can't think about that right now.
It's horrible. It's horrible. This is my favorite football season ever. I love 2021 the best out of all football seasons. I'm already so sad. We are going to be talking about week 10.
It's halfway. We're more than halfway. We're crossing the credenza. It's just, oh my gosh.
Yeah, the fantasy football season's definitely past. When I did the Bon Jovi halfway there intro a few weeks ago. That was halfway for fantasy football season. We're moving towards, you gotta get those 500 teams up and at them, dude, so you can make the playoffs, man. It's coming.
Well, I'm trying to get to 500 in the BFFs. By the way, I was 1-4, 2-5. I need Najee Harris to get me 12 more points, and I'm gonna be 4-5 and in the mix. Back, baby. I'm
4 and
back.
5's in the mix.
It's so beautiful. We have two runaway, 6-1, 7-1 kind of 6-2 kind of guys, and I want them to keep winning and winning and winning. That's fine. They will. And then the rest of us.
One of them is garbage.
Well, you're talking about Josh Thompson's garbage team. Is that the one? Oh yeah. I want him to win the most. Yeah, I want him to win.
He's going to lose this week.
Paper champion for sure. He is record. He's one of the worst 3 teams in the league. So
he's been doing good managing the team, but he has, he didn't. I mean, he has Mahomes. That was a 2nd round draft pick for him. I mean, Mahomes is a
great pick,
right? I mean, he's. It's very odd what's going on with the Chiefs, but he's done well managing the team. The other one is just a monster. That's a championship team if I've ever seen one.
We're talking about my friend Chris's team. He has Nick Chubb, Jonathan Taylor. He has Mike Evans, Tom Brady. It's sick. It's sick. He had Tom Brady and Mike Evans on a bye. He's gonna score 200 points. You know what I mean?
He has Rob Gronkowski waiting on his bench. He has Mike Williams. He has James Robinson. Who else? I mean, that team is just loaded up and down. I mean, Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel.
Yeah. Cooper Kupp.
I mean,
how do we let him do this? I was not anywhere near him. He was 4th or 7th or something. I was 12th. I was on the fringes. I fucking hate the fringes. And so, I mean, I don't even know what you guys let him do that for.
Mm-hmm.
I blame you. I blame all of you guys down there at that end.
You could have drafted Cup. You could have drafted Deebo Samuel. They all were late round picks. So
Lies. Well, okay, maybe I could have. You know, my late round picks were terrible this year. I'm not gonna pretend. The wide receiver 2 theory got debunked this year. The Russell Gages of the
Deebo
world.
Samuel and Cooper Cup are the wide receiver 2
They
theory.
are, but I didn't pick them. So that was my
right.
That's on me. You know,
but those were the guys that should. Those
were wide receiver 2 theories.
They were wide receivers too, and now they're runaway wide receiver ones. I mean, just monsters.
Well, I mean, look at Mike Evans. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, that back and forth. You're at one point, Antonio Brown was right up there with those guys too. So it is a volatile mix with these wide receivers. But
I'll take Mike Evans every time.
Me too. Well, we don't want to foreshadow too much. We're going to talk about DFS Stacks of Cash later for sure. He might be in there. I'm not going to lie. Let's kick it off with a new segment that we like to do. Kind of like it's a little bit of bullshit segment, but it's fun. It's not something where you have to pick a player or make a stand. It's just what you loved and what you hated about this weekend. So I'm going to let you kick it off. What did you love about your favorite season of all time?
I'm glad I actually thought about it this week because I didn't know that we were like starting to do that now. So I had some thoughts this week instead of on the cup. Hard to pick. There's a lot of things I loved this week, not a lot I hated. If I'm gonna be honest, I mean, I didn't love the Josh Allen versus Josh Allen battle as much as Scott Hansen did.
Scott Hansen fucking loved that thing, man.
I liked it. I didn't love it as much as Scott Hansen did. That was freaking cool to see somebody pick him, sack him, and recover a fumble. That was I wouldn't have cared that much at all if Scott Hansen had been making such a big deal out of it. That was cool. I know, Adrian Peterson is not the, I saw you tweet something like, when Al Michaels says Chris Collinsworth, calls him a good guy, and you just cringe. I'll say this. I'm rooting for Adrian Peterson. I'm rooting for him to break records right now. He is got 119 touchdowns. Okay. I think this is updated. So he's 4 away from Marcus Allen. Like he has a chance this year to be the 3rd all-time TD leader, which I think is really cool. He also has a chance of passing Barry Sanders. He needs 429 yards to pass Barry Sanders to be 4th all time. So him getting that TD is cool. I do think that I think he's going to get goal line work almost strictly because of that. I think Vrabel is that kind of guy that he's going to want to give him opportunity to etch his name in the record books as a Titan. So that was cool, but long-winded answer. If I'm being dead honest, my favorite moment was watching Nick Chubb take it to the house. That one where he went like 70 yards and just how fast he is in the open field. He is so fast. I mean, he just kept accelerating and just smoked everybody. That was my favorite moment. That was the moment that got me off the couch. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was a great moment. To touch on the Scott Hansen thing, I think maybe I'll show it later. It was very I don't know. I was interested in the very beginning how much attention he was giving to it, right? It just seemed nothing had happened yet, and so I was intrigued at that because I was like, where's this going? You know what I'm saying? Like they're like dedicating like a lot of talk time to this Josh Allen thing. Like, this is something he's prepared for. Like this is like a bit that he's doing. And so I loved it. And then to see his bit mix with what was happening and how excited he got off of that. It was just like it did entertain me. It did keep me, it wasn't annoying. It was funny. And then Twitter just went crazy with memes. And I have a meme out there that went viral that got like 300 some likes. It's so funny when the whole collective milieu of football hones in on something and they kind of go with it. And then we went with it. We went with Scott Hansen and his excitement. We all kind of lived that. So that was my favorite. What was something that you could have done with that? You said not much. Anything you didn't like? Any shitty call? Any poor performance?
I was trying to think. I know there was some call. I just can't think of it. So I didn't come up with any call. That's the best thing to bring into the hate segment is just weird bad rules. I know there was something too. I just can't remember it. So I wrote down Cowboys Bills DFS lineups because that was just the worst. I mean, Amari Cooper, Josh Allen. I played so many different players on both of those squads in my DFS lineup. So I will say that, and then also the Chiefs game. That was I hate the Chiefs. What is wrong with the Chiefs? It's just the weirdest thing in the world.
It is gross. I'm not gonna lie. It's gross to see. I watched the Chiefs game, a little bit of it that they showed. I did not like watching the Cowboys Broncos game. That game, every time Dak had the football, it looked like they hadn't played together as a team at all before. They looked out of sync. I did not appreciate them switching to that game, particularly. Whenever they switched to it, I was just like, no, it's not good. And then, Malik Turner catching a couple touchdowns, like, no, I didn't like any of it. And it was just interesting to see. And then, I'm not going to say I hated any performance, but I don't like Josh Allen's performance at all. I don't like it. But I understand it now. I read an article about it, and I got a little bit of a situational understanding. They're doing the same thing that is being done to the Chiefs. It's the
shell cover too.
Yes, the shell high.
I read that article by Lord Dennis as well.
Yes,
it's very interesting.
Very interesting. It changes the game for DFS. It changes the game for fantasy right now. They're yeah, and they did miss Tyron Smith, by the way. But I don't like kind of that part of it all. What do you think of it?
I'll say this, that to kind of, of course I didn't like the outcome or the outcomes so far this season for teams that are having success against both those teams, because they're just such high-powered, sexy offenses. At the same time, as a lover of football, this is actually what I love. This is what I love about football. It's amazing. It is like the ultimate evolutionary petri dish.
That's a
where, somebody figures something out, then they figure out how to stop it, and then they have to figure out how to get around the stop, and on it goes. Like players evolve. The Blind Side is one of the best books I've ever read about football. And it's by Michael Lewis. He's the guy who did The Big Short. He did The Blind Side, the movie. But if you read the book, it's about that player's life. Michael
Orr.
Michael Orr. But it's also a lot about football, and it's a lot about there's an evolutionary process. That's why it's called The Blind Side. Right? The second highest paid player on every team is the left tackle, because he protects the quarterback's blind side. And there's, Lawrence Taylor was this just unstoppable force that sort of created the left tackle. And you see this in the NFL. There's body types emerge and evolve, and so shell cover 2 is just another example of the NFL evolving to deal with, because that for me, it's interesting how I feel about the Bills, because pre-Jags game, lock, Bills are going to the Super Bowl, lock. And confidence eroded because of that game. And the reason why I thought they were going to the Super Bowl is because I thought they were the new Chiefs. I thought they were just a better, more well put together team than the Chiefs. And yeah, to see the Jacksonville Jaguars hold them to 6 points, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely discouraging from fantasy, from a DFS perspective, but from the big overall football perspective, I do agree with you. I do like what you're pointing out. It's a good evolutionary step in the progress of the game, and he's going to have to pick them apart with little short passes. Mahomes is, and Josh Allen is going to have to do that too. But here's the thing: I will say this: Stephon Diggs not totally neutered though. You know, he had a 75% catch rate downfield last year. Now he's got 65%, only down 10%. So it is an impact. It doesn't matter. He's not number one wide receiver anymore. But he's still been getting it done previously to this last week. And so I'm not saying that they've solved them. And same with Tyreek Hill. He's still a top 10 wide receiver. It just does. You think these games are going to shoot, and then you get a 6-9, like 6-9, bro. You know what I mean? Like, okay, fine, 69, fine. You know, but no, not a good game to watch either. So I didn't like, you know, that type of football, 6-9 football. If it didn't have the Josh Allen, you know, storyline, I would have hated that game the most.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen. The other thing about the Bills that I think, for me right now, what you just didn't see enough of is him using his rushing ability, and I don't see how any team that, to me, that's what's going on with Mahomes as well. Ever since he started getting turnovers and fumbles, it was like all of a sudden his confidence went down, and you're not seeing Mahomes run the football as much. And I think, I don't know how cover 2 deals with the mobile quarterback that's capable of breaking off first down runs whenever, you know, things don't look right on the football field. So
it's zone. So you're going to have, you know, less of those big runs. You might have runs to the outside because there's more.
Well, so I mean, the way I understand the shell cover 2 is that the safeties are tremendously deep, and what they're doing is they're taking away the sideline. So that anytime there's a wide receiver in that lane, it's they have to deal with the 2 people on them. There's going to be you know, a cornerback and a safety, and so it takes away you know, their main read. And that's all I'm saying is when things break down, run the football.
No, I'm going to agree with you. Yes, I'm agree. I will say this though: the way that it's designed is that the linebackers don't chase after. They kind of they form a line that they throw over the top of that. You know, if you get someone in behind that line of linebackers, and so one way to deal with this play action. The Chiefs are not great at running the football, so I mean, not that play action doesn't work. It works for everybody. Even if you're shitty at running the football, it works. But they don't do it enough. You know what I'm saying? That holds those linebackers in the shell too. So I mean, if I know Andy Reid's a lot smarter than me, I would not be surprised if they don't introduce a little bit more play action to hold those linebackers, keep them in place. Then you can pick them apart over the top of them in front of the safeties. Or what you can do too is run Tyreek on a fly. Just send him to the moon, right? That takes a safety and it takes that cornerback gone with him. And then you run Kelsey up that seam and have him cut behind and you know, veer off to the side on a linebacker. You got a wide open, you know, 15, 20-yard pass. So I agree.
It's built for Kelsey, and it's also built for Dawson Knox too. I mean, those are the guys that should be taking advantage of the zone. So, I mean, we'll see. I think them getting Dawson Knox back will be another thing. But I don't know, man. Power rankings. I feel like the Ravens right now are kind of moving up my charts, dude.
Holy shit!
And the Titans. Ooh. Titans D is legit, dude.
Where did that come from, man? Those boys are back. Holy moly!
Yeah. Yep.
I love it. All right, let's. We've been talking a good 20 minutes. Hey, like we like to. Let's jump into some actual fantasy football content now. If you're sticking around. I appreciate that. Let's start off with trades to get paid. This is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Please do sign up in the description below down in the YouTube comments. Hashtag nimble always. All of these are nimble. When you put the code in, they're all nimble. That's it. You put in nimble or use the link and it's all good to go. So let's talk about it. Who is your first trade to get paid?
So I'm just gonna get these guys off the board real quick. These weren't we like to try and pick guys that you can get, but I think in terms of tight ends, again, we've mentioned Dawson Knox. Yeah, that's why I just want to say him real quick. Dawson Knox and Hunter Henry. I think if you could get either one of those guys for a tight end, do it. But I didn't spend a lot of time focusing on them because it's just probably tough to trade for either one of those guys. JD McKissick was the first name I wrote down. It just seems in this horrible Ron Rivera Washington football team, this guy is doing what he did in 2020. I mean, he just continues to get targets, he's averaging over his last 3 games, 8, 4, and 8. So it's almost 7 targets a game. And he's getting carries, and Gibson has shin splints / fractures in his leg. So I think McKissick is a good person right now that you could get, because I don't think
not a sexy name. Not a sexy
I don't think I've started McKissick once on the one team that I have him on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the cool part. He's 7th in targets with 42. And then in receiving yards, receiving yards matter. He's 3rd. So those are 2 metrics: 33 receptions, 332 receiving yards, 42 targets. I like he a lot. Yeah. So I like that call. Here's my guy, you like this guy. I'm just kind of like wanting you to like me more. So this is one reason why I picked this guy. But AJ Dillon is a man. He's a man. That's a man beast. He is just he'll get you 10 yards and a first down, and maybe he doesn't go for 50 or 25 or 100, whatever it is in one. He's not Nick Chubb running back there, but he'll bust through the line, get you 6, get you 5, get you 4, and those add up. And then eventually he'll get some touchdowns. Any part of this Aaron Rodgers offense that's not too fringe, I would like to have a piece of it. And I think he's going to have some value down the stretch.
I think if he was on the Browns, he would be Nick Chubb. He can't take it to the house like Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb legitimately looks like he's definitely top 5 in breakaway speed. I mean, that was ridiculous. So I don't think AJ Dillon has that in his arsenal. He might be tougher to tackle than Nick Chubb. I mean, he is. He brings the thunder. Yeah, that is a man. That is a man. And it's such a shame that he's on the same football team with, unarguably, I've never been a huge Aaron Jones guy for whatever reason. I just haven't. And the more I watch him, that guy is so fast. That guy has breakaway speed for sure. And so to be on that football team is a shame, because you can't not give Aaron Jones the football. You have to. But AJ Dillon, I think he will continue to carve out a role. So I love it. I love it. And I think you can get him. And then if anything does happen to Aaron Jones, that guy is a lock and load top RB, like top 5.
I can smell the RB5, the RB1, or the RB 4 or 5, whatever.
Week in, week out.
Yeah, week in,
because he can catch too. He's getting targets too. I love it. I love it when they give these big badass backs the ball in the air and let them get a little space too. Like, why don't they always do that?
I would not want to have that guy coming downhill at me, a la Derrick Henry. So someone on Twitter did say a wild thing today. It was Chase Vernon over at the FF Intervention. He did say that AJ Dillon, if he would have gone to Tennessee, would have been the new, basically, or he can become the new King. He can be even better than King Henry. What do you think of that? It seemed pretty salacious.
I mean, King Henry is I pray to the Lord above that this foot thing heals, because this guy looked like he had a chance at being the greatest running back of all time. So is he that? No.
Right.
I mean, Derrick Henry, legit. I'm so sad. This foot injury really, really blows me as a fan of his, because he's getting screws in his foot, and this dude is just a big dude. I mean, doctors are amazing these days. They know what they're doing. Maybe he even comes back this season. I mean, they're saying he has a chance of coming back for maybe, your Super Bowl on your fantasy team. But, yeah, I just thought he was uninjurable too. That was another reason why I loved him. And I feel like the only thing that could get injured on that badass man is his foot. His all the weight.
Yeah, it's like the second bone out in his toe. They showed a little diagram of it on the show. And the thing I thought was interesting, I think it was on the Red Zone, is that he has the most rushing yards in a 30-game span out of any running back in NFL history. The last 30 games, it's over 3,000 yards. I mean, 3,000 something. I didn't see the hundreds there, but what he's doing and what he's done is remarkable. It's ridiculous. Like we should bow down. So Chase, love you, buddy, but don't get drunk and tweet. So with that being said, I've got another guy real quick. There's somebody who, I mean, he's going to be popular now. It's not like but I think he's worth getting. I love him so much. I think he's going to really vault up. So even if you pay up a little bit for him, it's going to be worth it in the end. And that's Hunter Renfrow. Renfrow got a touchdown. You saw him getting those red zone targets. I love that about him. I mean, that just makes me so happy to see that in the last game. And so Derek Carr, they didn't play good. The Giants actually are not terrible at times at home. It's weird. They're like Jekyll and Hyde. They beat the Seahawks last year at home. They played really tough against them when they were really a good team, when they were on the decline, but they had not been a terrible team at that point last year. So New York is good for a couple of those a year, and they tend to play better at the second half of the year as well. So not totally surprised given what happened. They released another one of their picks who was out, yelling and threatening people with weapons over the weekend. So
their cornerback Arnett, I think his name is
first round pick. Yeah, it's not good. The Raiders culture, and it's not the Henry Ruggs thing. I'm not saying that it's because of Raiders culture. It's not. That's a bad decision that one person made. It wasn't like he was out with the team. But enough of this pattern. You've seen a pattern with the Raiders. They're not a great.
In the past month, I saw a tweet that was October 8th to November 8th. October 8th, Gruden emails released. Whatever. 5 days later, Gruden resigns. Then this Ruggs thing, and then today they have to release their first round draft pick cornerback. That's crazy, man. That's just crazy.
It's like they're like telling the Washington football team to hold their beer. You know what I mean? They're just like, oh, hold on, you guys are in a sex scandal. We got some crazy shit we're about to do. Hold my beer, Washington. And Dan Snyder loves
hold my gun.
Hey, I'm gonna need you to hold this for me for a short amount of time. Just don't ask any questions. Just hold this. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, seriously. It's a little bit wild. So how about you? Any last
so my guy it kind of reminds me of your guy. My last guy I had a wide receiver was I like Christian Kirk.
Ooh, I love him.
Yeah, I think, man, that Cardinals game was nuts too. I mean,
love that game. That was a great game to watch. A tremendous.
Oh my goodness, Colt McCoy looking sexy back there. He's like
gonna cry for him, man.
He was like 23 for 26 or something like that. He was all these Kyler Murray design runs. He was doing them. It was weird. So I don't care who's behind center, and I don't care if DeAndre Hopkins is back or not. I mean, I sit him, let him rest up that hammy.
Right.
Either way, I think Christian Kirk, his last 4 games, he's averaging close to 15 points a game, and that's with Hopkins in the lineup. Just a solid, nice wide receiver too. And I don't think that's going to stop. I don't see why that stops. So
I like that call a lot. So the guys we've gone over so far, if you're just jumping in, Hunter Renfrow, AJ Dillon for me, and then Collins had Hunter Henry. Who's your other tight end that you had as well?
Dawson Knox and Hunter
Dawson Knox.
Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might be able to get Dawson Knox if if somebody's. I would have said last week would have been the week to trade for him. Where he's still, it seems like he is going to be coming back. It's just, I think he has a broken bone in his hand as well, and it's not going to prevent him. It's not as serious as, what it could have been. Yeah, or as King Henry. So.
No. Okay. Excellent. Let's jump down to our next segment. And this is one of my favorites. This is The Wire presented by Occupy Fantasy. Do go check out Brian Jester and Occupy Fantasy. This is one of my favorite tools I use every single week to help me build my Millie Maker lineup. Gives you great rundowns. You can build your lineups. You can stack. You can flex. You can do all kinds of things with this tool. They also have the daily plug. And they do everything, by the way. They don't just do football. I just use it for football. They do all sports content. And one of the things they do over there is they write a daily plug. And so I read the articles today. I listened to the podcast today for the Showdown slate. I do it every Monday, every Thursday, and they have Sunday content too. So please go check out Occupy Fantasy. All right, let's jump in with the quarterbacks. Who is a quarterback? Oh, by the way, there are 4 teams on bye this week. I want to get that out of the way. The 4 teams on bye are Chicago, Cincinnati, New York, and Houston. So let's just kind of put that out there, and that's going to kind of inform some of our picks. So who are you going after in the quarterback realm?
We always, we kind of lament who's there to pick up at this point. I really don't try and repeat the same people. So for this week, Jimmy G had his second 300-yard game in a row. I streamed him in, and yeah, it was productive. And now Ayuk is kind of, resuscitated and starting to find his feet. And now you have Kittle back on that offense. So you got 3 really nice options for Jimmy G. And yeah, he said 2 300-yard games in a row. So he's playing well.
Yeah, no, I like that, especially somebody who picked up Brandon Ayuk for free. He was just hanging around on the waiver wire, and I picked him up for free. So yeah, I like that. Here's mine. Teddy Bridgewater is good. He's got some good weapons as well. You saw Noah Fant, no problem. Tim Patrick, Jerry Jeudy, and then Williams over 100 yards on the ground. So this team is not who we thought they were. They traded away Von Miller, and we went, they're punting this season. They don't even care. Look at this. No, they're in it to win it. And Teddy has not looked terrible. So if you need a quarterback this week, Teddy's matchup, it's not terrible as well. And Denver is going to throw the football. They're going to run the football too. But in Philadelphia is coming to town. Philly has Jalen Hurts. They're going to score points. That there's going to be points on the board. So I like that. If the game shoots out, there was a big shootout, basically 27-24 over 51 points or 51 points exactly in the previous game with Philly and the LA Chargers. So I really like this game, and Teddy's going to be available probably, I'm guessing, on your waiver wire.
I like it. Yep. All right. How about running backs?
I don't have a plethora of running backs, but I have a few. I'm going to start with one who was dropped in our league, and so maybe he's not available. People held on to him, but Nyheim Hines was dropped in our league, which was crazy. But no one picked him up before the game either last week, so he just was left to lament on the waiver wire, and he went off. So if Nyheim Hines was dropped like he was in our league, and he's available on the waiver wire for running backs like he is in our league, I would say go after Nyheim Hines. He might have been trashed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's available in a few different leagues that I'm in. So, I have less sexy guys than that. Did you pay attention to Le'Veon Bell?
Oh, I saw him get a touchdown.
I think he might get into that offense really well.
Once he gets his feet under him, yeah. They need running backs. Tyson Williams, I didn't see him very much.
the thing is that he has that weird sort of he sits back, he holds it, and he waits for the that's always been his MO. He sits and he waits for the holes to develop. I always thought it would be interesting how they run those weird QB sets where Lamar's back, and then they have maybe Ricard in the backfield, Le'Veon Bell, and then there's you have no idea what they're going to do, and they're doing the read option. I've been interested to see if Le'Veon Bell was going to be able to kind of revitalize his career there, and so I don't know. He's somebody I'm paying attention to. So I think he's worth picking up on the wire.
I'm not going to disagree with that. I like that. I have another person who's looking to revitalize their career, and it's somebody who got traded back to a team that they used to be on in Mark Ingram. He scored double-digit points. And if Alvin Kamara does go down, I know he's not the same Mark Ingram, but in leagues where you need 10 points, you're on a bye, Mark Ingram is definitely worth just picking up, throwing in there. He had carries. He had a couple of targets. So I don't think he's a terrible stash. Maybe you're not going to start him right away. You're not going to roll him into your lineup. But the passing offense right now for New Orleans is not great. They're running the football a lot. They need to run the football. They've got Alvin Kamara. He's their best receiver and running back, but he needs breaks. And I think Mark Ingram is going to pick up, a couple of touchdowns here and there on the goal line. They're going to need a big bruising back. And so I do like Mark Ingram just to kind of stash.
I wrote him down as well. So, yep, I had Mark Ingram. I also wrote down Jordan Howard.
Oh man, back from the dead! Holy shite, that's wild. He's running well too, by the way. He does not look like the old plodding Jordan Howard. What happened to him? Did he lose a little bit of weight or something? Or he learn how to pick up his feet? Did he do a little ballerina dancing or something?
You know what it is? Too? The goal line opportunities. They always get down there, and Jalen Hurts is just the TD vulture, and they're way more efficient when they're actually handing the ball to the running backs at like the 2-yard line. I've been watching Hurts all season, and he'll get in. It might take him 3 or 4 downs. Whether he throws it or runs it in, and now they get down there and boom.
Yeah. Well, their run offense is much more effective than their pass offense. They showed it in that game. They stayed in the game with the Chargers, and they were winning the game, but they're running the football. Jordan Howard was hard to get down by that goal line, and you did see, Hurts did get a rushing touchdown in that game, but it definitely is something to watch out for. And then my last one that I had is kind of like a Patriots, I don't know, Ramondre Stevenson, and then also Brandon Bolden. They both scored over 10 points last week, so they're just something to kind of watch and see. I know Bo hates the Patriots running back, but the Mac Jones has not progressed as he's kind of stalling out a little bit. He played good against the Chargers for sure. But he hasn't crushed it. I think they're going to be continuing to run the football. It's not going to be Tom Brady just yet. So when Brandon Bolden's involved, he gets the ball in the receiving game. I do like that.
I also had Devonta Freeman written down.
Oh, I assumed he was already on a team. Yeah, he should be picked up as well. I agree 100%.
I mean, he looked like he was the best running back on the football field out of all the running backs. I mean, Adrian Peterson, great storyline, but Devonta Freeman looks like he's like.
Yeah, and I like his touchdown grab, like his little toe tap. I mean, he looked great on that play. So I think that's a receiving back type work. He was good at that. I mean, I know.
I'm sorry. I said Devonta Freeman. I meant Devonta Foreman.
Oh, okay. That's what I was saying. I thought Devonta Freeman was picked up.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the Titans. The Titans backfield.
Now I get it.
Sorry. I said the name wrong, so it makes sense that you were thinking about Devonta Freeman.
He did play well. He looked good. But
I mean, he was more explosive than Adrian Peterson. So.
I agree. I think that Jeremy McNichols, Adrian Peterson, Foreman triumvirate is going to be there all year. Unfortunately, but I do agree. Let's jump to you. Any more running backs? We jump to wide receivers now. Okay. I'm going to say that this guy that I have on my list is my number one pickup. First of all, I want to victory lap Elijah Moore, and I want to victory lap Ayuk as well. So both those guys were guys I told you to pick up last week. My guy Elijah Moore broke the slate if you played him. And he got 2 touchdowns, and then Brandon Ayuk got you 19, almost 20 points too. So both of those were pickups last week that I said to go out and get. So if you went and did that, if you picked those guys up and you listened to me and you played them, mazel tov. But I'm going to say they might be available still. Get them; they're available still. Russell Gage is somebody who I'm interested in. He got 8 targets, 7 receptions. This is what I thought was going to happen with Russell Gage. I thought he was going to just get peppered with targets this year. He was non-existent. He was injured. He came back, and Olamide Zaccheaus got the touchdowns, but Olamide Zaccheaus is not going to get 2 touchdowns every game. Russell Gage is going to get a few touchdowns in there too. So I do like the Kyle Pitts drawing coverage away, giving Russell Gage a little bit more room underneath. And so he's somebody who probably got dumped earlier this year, hadn't shown out yet. He might be available.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't look now. I think the Falcons are in the playoffs.
I saw that tweet today. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. Hide your kids, hide your wife. The Falcons are about to lose in the Super Bowl.
I know. I picked Elijah Moore as well. Donovan Peoples-Jones. That's another one that I think you gotta. He was already looking good when OBJ was on the team, and now there is no OBJ. So
yeah, and those downfield targets, those air yards are just so crisp, so clean. Yeah, you want those. Yeah, and I would say another one I have on my list too, because I had Peoples-Jones, who's number 2 after Gage, is Deontay Harris. I know that we are fantasy millionaires for a reason, my friend. Tell me what you like about Harris, because I like a lot.
Well, you saw that somebody mentioned it during the broadcast. They were talking about his special teams chops, and he's so quick. Yep. He looks like he's intense to tackle. I mean, there was one play where I think a safety or a linebacker had a beat on him, banged him. Mm-hmm. He just bounced right off.
Bounced right off. That's what I was going to say. He's so tough for somebody who's so slight. It's ridiculous, and he's getting the most targets and the most receptions. Last week he had 8 targets, which was 2 more than Callaway, 3 more than Stills. He didn't get the touchdown that Stills got, but I do like Harris. If you're looking for somebody who might catch a touchdown, sure, Stills might be there, but Harris is going to give you those 75 yards, 6 receptions. You want that? That's 13.5 points. You need that.
Right.
So,
yeah. Are you got any tight ends?
Possibly. No, I do not have any tight ends. That's a lie. I told you to pick up. Yeah, good luck. I picked up Pat Freiermuth last week. He got a touchdown this week. Boom, boom, boom. Listen, if you're not listening, you should be. Sorry, there's no more tight ends though. I got some defenses though. I've got 2 defenses that I might dance with if I want to dance with the devil. You got any defenses? The Browns and the Titans. I like both those defenses. The Titans, you saw what they did last week. This week, the Browns go against New England, and I'm not scared of Mac Jones. They got a good rushing attack, but I'm not scared of Mac Jones at all. It doesn't bother me. And then the Titans situation, it's not terrible. They're going against New Orleans. New Orleans, they will be good, but they've got Trevor Siemian there, who is not that great. And so I know their offensive line is a little bit better than the Rams, but still, I think Tennessee, they can get after. And last week, the Falcons beat them, and the Falcons defense was turning them over. And so if the Falcons defense can do it, I think Tennessee can do it too. So those are 2 I'd say if they're on the waiver wire, grab them up.
Who do you think wins between the Browns and the Patriots this week?
I'm going Browns.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going Cleveland. I think it's Nick Chubb season, baby. I just think that guy, he's here. He's ready to roll. So, yeah. All right, that's it.
It's a bit. I mean, that game has a lot of playoff implications. Both 5 and 4.
Oh, big time. Yeah. I was surprised at how well the Browns dispatched the Bengals. And then I watched
Me
this
too.
a clip of Joe Burrow from 2 weeks ago after they were winning at the end of the game. He's talking to his guys. He's like, yeah, we could just win this division. Like, this is just, like it's playing so well. They've lost 2 in a row to the Jets and then the Browns, and they're not in first place anymore. So what are you going to do? They're not the best team in that division. The Ravens are definitely the best team in that division.
Don't
And the Browns
now
are
getting better. It doesn't matter who their quarterback is either.
No, I mean, Josh Johnson was lighting them up. I mean, lighting it up. Yeah. Over 300 yards passing. I mean, he had a 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. I like, and he is an XFL guy. So I love that too. He was one of my favorite. I believe he played for the LA team out there in LA in Los Angeles. So I am a fan.
All right. Let's do elevate, mitigate, eviscerate.
One of my favorites. Every segment is one of my favorites. This is definitely presented by Run the Sims. Check out runthesims.com. I use them with Bo on Chalk Block every single week to build winners. I'm building my $100 double up. I'm building my GPPs, my cash lineups. They have an amazing simulator that runs 10,000 simulations in about 25 seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds. You put all the players in you want, you build your lineups, and then you go cash. So please do check out my guys over there. And Justin Freeman is the man. He is awesome, smart. He gets things done. He wins money in fantasy and in DFS. So I love that guy. All right, let's talk about players to elevate. I'll let you kick off with the quarterback position. Who are you elevating?
I'm going with my man Derek Carr versus the Chiefs. Yeah. Bring it.
I'm not scared of what happened last week, and he's definitely played well against the Chiefs in the last couple matchups. So I'm going to roll with Derek Carr as well. What do you see? What's your thought in this?
Well, it's Derek Carr's football team now. I mean, this guy, he's the captain. He's running the show, and the Chiefs are just dreadful on the defensive side of the football. I can see I could see a big Waller day, and I mean he's just putting up numbers. I mean, last week the Giants, that's going to be a team that you run the football on more anyway. This is just a primo matchup. I mean, anytime any team is playing the Chiefs, look who's that quarterback, and this week it's somebody that he can air it out. So
yeah, no, I like that. My quarterback is going to be Matt Ryan against the Cowboys. You saw last week what Teddy Bridgewater did. Matt Ryan, in the last 5 games, 3 of them, he's gone over 20 points, which you want to see. I like that. And
I love that.
You have, with Matt Ryan, the potential to have a shootout with Dallas. The last game they played was a game where, if you remember correctly, Dallas was down. They did that spinning onside kick. No one touched it. And then the player fell on it for Dallas, got the ball. They kicked the field goal. They won the game. They came back. It was one of the best comebacks in the fourth quarter, I think, of all of 2019. And it was 2020, it's another nail in the coffin for Atlanta. And so this game has the potential to shoot out. And so I like that. And that's why I'm going to chase Matt Ryan. He's probably available, in most of your leagues. So check that out. Or not available, but he's probably, you have him or somebody has him. So if he's not available, try to trade for him or get him or do whatever you got to do.
I was deciding between Derek Carr and Matt Ryan, and for the defense I was mitigating, I was deciding between the defense that I will share later and the Cowboys, because I think the Falcons are going to put up points. You can't mitigate the Cowboys D because of that TD turnover difference potential. So I chose not to, but I like the Matt Ryan pick.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to running back next. Who are you rolling out? Who are you elevating at running back?
So this is one that's dependent on Zach Moss's concussion protocol, but Devin Singletary, I think, is a must start versus the Jets if there's no Zach Moss. So he could be on your waiver wire too. And if there's no Zach Moss, I think that's a lock and load. That's the worst thing the Jets do is defend the run.
That's exactly right. They're one of the bottom teams in the whole league at defending the run. You saw what Joe Mixon did to them. He scored so many points. DFS monster 2 weeks ago. I love that call. My guy is Kenyon Drake. Quietly, Kenyon Drake is a PPR back. We don't really think of him that much. We don't really even think of him, right? But he has more points than Josh Jacobs so far. He's getting targets. I think he's got 33 receptions so far. So, you can get way worse than Kenyon Drake. It's also a bye week, so people are going to be you're kind of struggling here. So, I think if you have Kenyon in some of these different spots, you put him in. You let him go. I think he'll give you some points this week. And you like Derek Carr against the Raiders or against the Chiefs. I like anybody against the Chiefs, and particularly if you're going to be a PPR back, I like that too.
That's a good call.
You want to jump to a wide receiver?
Wide receiver, CDs. I think that game is a shootout, and I think people could be maybe hesitant with CeeDee Lamb's, his last couple games, and I think this is the week where Dallas gets right, and it's not for lack of trying. I mean, he's had 11, 8, and 9 targets his last 3 games. So this is going to sort itself out. Like
regression to the cash.
Going to start hitting his wide receivers. Like that's going to happen.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's a good call. For me, it's your boy Christian Kirk. I think Christian Kirk is a must start. You got to elevate him from now on. If you picked him up, if you traded for him, you need to play him. You need to plug him into your flex or your wide receiver 2 or 3, and then just leave him there. I think that's what you need to do. So I'm a big Christian Kirk guy. Make sure he's starting on your team. And then if you're looking for somebody a little bit deeper, Rashad Bateman is getting targeted. And last week, he almost connected downfield with a very deep pass. It was a great pass. He got interfered with, though, which was great. Brought the Ravens into the red zone, and they scored a touchdown right after that. So I love Rashad Bateman. I saw my guy, Matt Harmon, shout out the king of Yahoo over there with the, perception. He's the man. And he talked about how this is a concentrated group of fantasy players here in this game, in this team. Lamar Jackson, of course, being the number 1, but then he's throwing it only to, I think 73% of his targets go to Hollywood Brown, Rashad Bateman, and Mark Andrews. So that's crazy. You're getting all of that volume into those 3. And right now, Rashad Bateman is just getting his feet wet. So I do like Rashad Bateman this week. And, he has an opportunity in this game. And he's playing, by the way, the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins, they're not great. They're not good. They're not the best against wide receivers or quarterbacks. And if you remember a couple years ago, Hollywood Brown lit them up for 2 touchdowns over the top. It could be Rashad Bateman this week. It could be. So, and it's a Thursday night game. Wild things happen on Thursday night. So I think you put Rashad Bateman in there.
I think that team is so different too when Jacoby Brissett is at the helm. I mean, it's just inept.
Yes.
So there's going to be more opportunity for the offense.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, and I think Harbaugh's a little pissed too because there were some great memeable opportunities and gifs of him just looking befuddled going into halftime. They pulled it out. They came back from 14 points behind. He was, I think, 10-3 coming off a bye, and to see him getting trounced like that really did shock me. I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe Harbaugh is putting up with this, and this is actually happening right now. Just knowing who he is, but he looked kind of like a mad lost puppy. It's kind of like. And then he came back and he got his gravitas back in the second half. So I think he is not happy, and they're just going to go out for blood in this game. I think they're going to score like 100 points.
Now he's 11-3.
Now he's 11-3. Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Anybody else for you for wide receiver, or you want to jump to tight ends?
Tight end.
I have one tight end. One tight. Give me your one tight end.
I like CJ Uzama.
Uzama.
Yeah. CJ Uzama. Yeah. That's. We got. Wait. Let me see here. Where did I put the Bengals? They're not on a bye, right? That's not.
Are the Bengals on a bye? Yes, the Bengals are on a bye.
Okay. So
Not
scratch
CJ Uzama.
that.
No.
Not CJ
So-
Uzama. I don't have a tight end.
I have a tight end. Ty Conklin is my tight end, and I don't.
Conklin, yeah.
Yeah, I don't love Kirk Cousins' matchup. We'll talk about that a little bit in mitigate, but I do like tight ends going up against the Chargers defense because they're not very good at stopping them, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a team that does poorly against your position, and then a matchup exploitation. So I'm all about that, and looking at the Chargers. Last week they didn't play completely terrible, but they ranked 27th against the tight end, give up 16.3 points per game. They've given up 4 touchdowns, almost 600 yards. So I do likey this week.
Yeah,
by the way, your mic is really low, by the way, like it dropped off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know if there's anything that happened, but I wanted to give you the heads up on that. I did turn you up.
How's it now?
That's good. It's okay. It's not terrible.
Back.
Yeah,
Okay.
I turned you up too, so I got the power to turn you up, and yeah, that's all I got. And then, is there any defenses that you're gonna kind of say, hey, like for me,
Bucs
it's the
versus Washington football team.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Washington football team, except for McKissick, is not performing well right now. So.
Yeah, I think Taylor Heineke is gonna eat a lot of dirt on Sunday at 1 p.m.
It's gonna be a lot different than that playoff game, and I think people are gonna continue to reference that game and just to say, "Oh man, it's a lot different than that playoff game." So that's exactly what they'll say on Sunday, and it's gonna be repetitive the whole time.
Their offensive line is so banged up, and the Bucs defensive line it's the best in the business, dude.
It's the best. So. No, I'm with you there. Good calls. Let's jump to players that we're going to be mitigating, and that means we're going to be benching them, not necessarily getting rid of them, but some of them may be, earmarked for evisceration. Who are you sitting at the quarterback position?
So I don't like Jalen Hurts matchup versus the Broncos this week. Yeah,
I agree.
I think what you're seeing now with the way that they're getting down in the red zone too is. They're becoming a run first red zone team, and that just kills his fantasy value. So it's just a tough matchup this week. I think it's a good if you have somebody that you can elevate like a Kirk Cousins. Take advantage and bench Hurts this week.
So you're going Kirk Cousins. I'm going to be benching Kirk Cousins. So I'll tell you why I'm benching Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, he is not terrible, and we do like Kirk here. But and this is just what I think. The Chargers are a run funnel. That's what we saw last week. We saw it with Jordan Howard. They're good. They can run the football. This is a Dalvin Cook week for me. This is where you fire up Dalvin Cook and he wins you the Millie Maker. I think Kirk will be just not. I think he'll get you 16, 17 points. But Philadelphia is strong. I'm sorry, not Philadelphia. The Chargers are strong against the quarterback. That's one thing they're really good at. And so I'm a little worried. They're also good against wide receivers as well. I think they're second against wide receivers, only give up 25 points per game. So it kind of limits his upside. I know Justin Jefferson is a beast and Adam Thielen is great, but they only give up 15 points to the quarterback per game. That's not a lot of points. So I'm going to kind of fade Kirk Cousins if I can. Now, maybe you can't. Maybe you got your boy Aaron Rodgers on your team, the COVID warrior out there fighting the woke police. Kirk Cousins will be joining him maybe soon. I don't know. I think Kirk already had it. I think Kirk got COVID in the summer. That's when everyone should have got it. You should have got it in the summer.
Who are you starting between Hurts and Kirk Cousins?
I think I'd start Hurts for his rushing upside. I think that's just what you have to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you have them both, you do have them both, don't you?
I do have them both.
I'm going to tell you, as a friend in the same league as you, I would go Hurts just because his rushing upside, Kirk Cousins doesn't have it. And Kirk Cousins has a boneheaded game in him every couple games. This could be the game. It really could be if they're just rushing the football. So that is my personal.
The Ravens don't have that good of a running defense either, though. I mean, they're like right behind. And then Kirk still goes up and puts up a 30 burger basically.
Yeah, but the Ravens aren't as good against wide receivers. Like I think that's the key is that
Right.
you have better corners. You've got Derwin James, he's over there, and I think that they're just better. Whereas the Ravens, they're not that great, and they're not terrible, but they give up 34 points to wide receivers per game. They've given up 7 touchdowns, over 1,300 yards, so they can be beat. And you saw Justin Jefferson beat them right away, like immediately. So. I think that's where I'm kind of fading Kirk this week.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, what about running backs? Who are you mitigating as a running back?
Well, we said that cluster F of a backfield and the Titans. I'm mitigating the entire Titans versus a top 5 Saints running back defense. So I think this is definitely a week to I'm sure you got excited about getting McNichols for $40 off the waiver wire or whatever you spent, but I would go ahead and sit all 3 of those guys this week. It's just because it's too hard to pick.
Yeah,
and it's just not a good matchup.
No, I agree with you. I'm not. That's not a terrible call. Somebody who, this might be crazy, and maybe he's going to fade this, maybe not. But he's been good. He's been getting targets, which is it's tricky to kind of fade that lately. But Michael Carter this week, he's going up. The Jets are going up against who they're going up against?
The Bills.
The Bills. And the Bills, they're really like the best against running backs. Like they're really, really good against running backs. And I know that they can be beat. Everybody can be beat, but I'm just Michael Carter is a rookie. And so there's just the situation with the Jets is kind of, I'm not saying it's fluid, but I'm not sure if White's going to start. I'm not sure if Josh Johnson's going to start. The Bills are only giving up, and they're giving up so much less. They're giving up 15 points to the running back. That's it. They've given up a total of 758 yards. I'm sorry, 700. That is not a lot. Combined rushing and passing, they've been really good. Only 4 touchdowns too. So all of those things, maybe Michael Carter busts out, but I just don't think this is the team that he does it against. I don't think the Bills. I think they lost. They're coming off, a terrible performance. I think they're going to be out for blood this week. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was thinking about him, and the only thing that kind of made me, I almost was going to pick him. Is just that PPR upside. It's hard to get away from that, but.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, the thing is that the Bills have been great against the PPR backs, and they've given up 1 receiving touchdown and only 240 yards through the air in 7 games or 8 games. I mean, that's not a lot. It's 30 yards a game. So I think that they can limit him, and I think they will. That's just that's my.
He sure has come on the scene now.
Oh yeah, but I mean, here's the thing though. I mean, and this is where we have to understand. Like each week, there's just variance. Like last week, Zeke wasn't great. Just wasn't great. You still start Zeke. I'm not going to tell you to fade Zeke this week because he sucked last week. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not how it works. But I mean, last week you saw people like Damian Harris get you 10 points. You see somebody like Michael Carter. He got you 9.6 in a blowout. They scored 30 points. He got 9.6. Darrell Henderson only got you 8.8. So you're going to have those duds. I just think against the Bills, I'm not going to be testing that. Just like New Orleans.
I hear you.
You're not testing it. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of the Bills, I'm going to go on the wide receivers. I'm going to go ahead and what the Jets do decently is cover wide receivers. And so I don't want either. I don't like with Dawson Knox coming back. I don't like Cole Beasley or Emmanuel Sanders this week. So I'm going to say fade both. I'm fading. I wrote both of them down because one of them will go off and it'll be the one that's not on your team.
Right. Well, I was thinking it was not going to be a Cole Beasley season personally. But yeah, I can see fading them both. I wasn't even thinking about the Dawson Knox situation. But definitely Stephon Diggs is the number one there. And
he's always starts.
He's always the starter. You're always going to start.
Fade him.
Yeah, you also have a lot of draft capital in him. And so maybe Beasley, you do not have as much, maybe 10th round pick or something like that. So he's been great for you. when he's hit, or he's been a dud. So more dud than stud last week for sure. What about tight end? For me, it was hard to find a tight end because there's not a lot that are rostered, especially with Uzama on a break and Ingram on a break and just people on a break to find those special friends that you really want. So I have no tight ends to mitigate. I might be scraping the bottom of the barrel just looking for anybody to start off the waiver wire, honestly.
I'm going back with the Jalen Hurts situation and Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert hasn't been what we thought he was going to be with no Ertz, and I don't like this matchup. So if you have a team where you have another decent tight end, maybe like a Jared Cook or Zach Ertz or I can't do Uzama because he's on a bye, but yeah, this would be a week where I would consider Dallas Goedert. I mean, if he's if you're just with dregs behind him, then no, but he'll probably get 8 points. And there's always the potential that he gets a touchdown, but it's not a good matchup. The Broncos are very efficient at dealing with the tight end, so it's a horrible matchup for Goddard this week.
No bueno, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like it. Do you have any mitigates on the defensive end? I don't necessarily have any.
So the one I had written down instead of the Cowboys was the Panthers versus the Cardinals.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The Cardinals just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're going to score points. It's Colt McCoy, Kyler Murray, no DeAndre Hopkins, no Chase Edmonds. Who cares? Cliff Kingsbury he's got the NFL figured out right now, and if you have the Panthers, I would look elsewhere.
I'm going to co-sign that, and I'm going to say you can eviscerate them. They're on my eviscerate list. And the reason is Sam Darnold.
Well, he makes my eviscerate list.
Yeah, mine too. That guy is some hot trash. So that's a good transition into eviscerate. That's my first quarter. That's my guy on the quarterback. It's my guy, Sam Darnold. He is terrible. I'm sorry to everybody who thought he was good. Somebody tweeted out what we learned this weekend. Maybe not an Adam Gase issue. Maybe not an Adam Gase issue completely. Maybe Adam Gase didn't completely ruin him. Maybe he just was kind of ruined, and then Adam Gase ruined him a little more.
Well, yeah, I mean, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? It doesn't matter. Him being connected with Adam Gase is not good. As no bueno, as they say. I mean, there's a shelf life to the QB psyche, and I think when you've turned the ball over as much as he does, I mean, you've created a neural network in your brain to be able to. There's a pathology, and Matt Rule looked like he was hypnotizing him into not doing that. But I mean, honestly, it was because he was playing so exciting. People weren't paying attention to the fact that he was still turning the ball over, and he was. I have him written down. How about McCaffrey's back? Is Chuba Hubbard? Is he gone? I mean, if you have McCaffrey, are you going to hold Chuba Hubbard anymore?
I say you hold him, but you don't necessarily play him. He's just a break glass, in case.
Yeah, I mean that's all he is, though, man. He's just sitting on your. He's just a handcuff, man. He's a handcuff.
Yeah, I don't think you drop. Two running backs to drop though. If you want to drop and pop it and drop it, you can get rid of Jeremy McNichols and $40 you spent on him last week. You can eviscerate him right away. Adrian Pearson's getting those touchdowns, like Mike said. And then Dearness Johnson. It was a cute story while it lasted, but
that was great.
Yeah, you can drop him as well. And so then you'll have.
How about Boston Scott?
Boston Scott had one of the best tweets of the week. He tweeted out how he lost his game, and he went home and got owned on some video game by some 12-year-old named like Snook Mook or something like that. So funny. Snook Malik or something like that. It was just like, man, Sook _ Malik. You go home and you get your ass kicked. It's like, oh, that's so funny. So I mean, Gainwell look, Gainwell is back. So I don't really know what's going on. I think Boston Scott is definitely evisceratable, though. I have a different eagle I want to eviscerate. He's a wide receiver named Jalen Rager. I want to eviscerate him. I don't have any of him, but you should eviscerate him.
Did he? I mean, he's injured, right? Did he play last week? Was he on the field?
I'll look and see at the game log. I don't know. He is to me very evisceratable.
I mean, I think he's on waiver wires already. But Boston Scott was somebody I picked up and played in my Derrick Henry, one of my Derrick Henry teams that I was just desperate, and I didn't want to put Adrian Peterson in. And man, I'm done with Boston Scott. It's over. Because you have Miles Sanders is coming back, right? I mean, that injury is he's what 1-2 weeks away. So now you have 4 running backs on that team. Boston Scott, Gainwell, Jordan Howard, and Miles Sanders. So I'm done with Boston Scott.
I agree. It's just like it was like a quick middle school girlfriend, or boyfriend, depending on where you hang. I will say this: yes, Jalen Rager did play last week. He had 1 target, 1 reception for -6 yards. It was his his yards per reception were -6. His yards per target were -6. So he played. He got you 0.4 points. So. Excellent. Yeah, you get rid of that guy if you have him, or just block him in your league so no one else can pick him up, and just maybe kick him out of your league. I don't know. It's just a thought. So, all right. What about you? Are you eviscerating any tight ends? I have one more wide receiver, Nelson Aguilar. You can eviscerate him. So just get rid of him. Bourne, and then of course Myers. Jacoby Myers never going to score a touchdown. I think he's got over 1,500 yards without a touchdown. It's an NFL record. He is allergic to the end zone. So if he can't get in, Nelson Aguilar is not getting in. So drop Aguilar and Rager. Those are the 2 I had. What about you? Anybody else? Any tight ends?
Nope. I had only 3 people written down. Chuba with a question mark, Boston Scott, and Sam Darnold. Those are my guys this week.
Nice. Okay. Let's jump to our top DFS stacks of cash. This is presented by Prize Picks. I love Prize Picks. Check out Prize Picks down in the links below in YouTube. There is one of my favorite parts about the Prize Picks is you can deposit $100 and then they'll give you $100. And then you can use that $100 and you can cash that money out and actually win it and make it and have it be part of your bankroll. Or after you make the money, you can take it and have it back in your bank account. So do check out Prize Picks using the link down in the description below. Let's talk about your filet mignon. It might be the same.
My filet mignon is Justin Herbert at 7,300 and Keenan Allen at 7,000. He was a bargain last week at 6,500. Mike Williams is something's wrong. He's hurt. They mentioned it during the game. He's dealing with some type of injury. Meanwhile, Keenan Allen is just getting it's 2020 version of Keenan Allen. That's a 14,300 stack. So you got 35,700 with your fillet to deal with the rest of your team. I think that's a really solid, safe fillet to build a lot of lineups around because Keenan Allen's baseline is 15 points. So if he doesn't triple your price payment for him, I mean, hopefully you hit it with some other guys, but bottom line, he'll double it. Like he's going to get you 14, 15 points for 7 Gs. That's a lock.
No, I like it. It's sexy. I've got my filet mignon is Tom Brady at 7,600 and Mike Evans at 6,900 as well. That to me is the sexiest stack of the week. And the reason is because they're going up against the Washington football team. And even though they're coming off a bye, they are, like you said, in tatters. They're terrible. They're terrible against the wide receiver. They're terrible against the quarterback. They rank worst against the quarterback, even though they were on a bye. They are still 3 points worse than any other team, and that's not good. They got more average. Their average went down because they got an extra week in there, right? So they're still terrible, and they're ranked 32nd. They've given up almost 2,400 yards. They've given up 20 touchdowns. 20 touchdowns. Tom Brady is going to just destroy them. It's going to be a bloodbath.
I like your stack better. I like your fillet better.
It's going to be Washington's defense on the secondary side. 43 points per game. They've given up over 1,500 yards and 11 touchdowns. I mean, dude, it's going to be so chalky. So you're going to have to.
I was choosing between Herbert and your stack. And honestly, as you were talking, I realized I wish I had said your stack, because your stack is the superior stack, and I'm going to tell you why. Besides everything you just said, as you were talking, I just realized too. I forgot when I was preparing, and now I remembered. I forgot that Tom Brady, he's chasing actual football records too. I mean, he is trying to goat it up. He is trying to goat it up in 2021 in single season records. He will be getting Mike Evans the football. Like, that is going to happen 100%. He is going to be airing it out. And there is, high probability you got a 1 to 2 touchdown game out of that guy. The reason why I was struggling to pick was because of Godwin, and I was like, you never know, but I love it. I think Evans is the best wide receiver on the team. He is. I mean, Antonio Brown is right there. Godwin's right there. They're close. But if you want to play it safe and you want to goat it up, throw the ball to Mike Evans.
Yeah. And the best cornerback for the Washington football team is like 5'9" or 5'10". You're not getting a huge corner on him. He has a huge match advantage. I think they'll probably put the rookie, was it J. June on them, or St. June? Is that his name? And you know that he's just going to use and abuse him. It's just he's one of their safeties. It's corners. It's not going to be good for him if he's on there. He's the tallest corner they have, and I think it's just going to be a Mike Evans. He might get 2 touchdowns. He might get 3 touchdowns. You know,
it's possible with what Brady's trying to do.
Right. So. Exactly. Yeah. No. All right. Let me jump to your sirloin. What is your sirloin?
Right. My sirloin. It's your boy Carson Wentz coming in at 5,900 and Michael Pittman at 6,300. Another just guaranteed safe stack of points. You put that sirloin in. You got 37-8 to build the rest of your lineups. To build the rest of your team. So yeah, man. Carson Wentz going up against the Jags. I don't think the shell cover 2 is going to work on that team. That, as you said, they have Jonathan Taylor. They have a running back that can just blow things open for them. They can run play action. So it's a nice safe sirloin.
I love it. I love it. I love it almost as much as mine. Mine's a little bit more expensive, though. I've got Dak Prescott at 6,900, and then I got Amari Cooper at 6,200. It's just it's too cheap. It's too cheap. They're going up against Atlanta, for God's sake, people. So to me, this is the value here is just through the roof. It's a little bit more expensive than your stack. It's $900 more than your stack, but I think if you pay for it, you're going to be happy when you bite in. So,
yeah, man. When you see Amari Cooper, I mean, I was just chucking him in dozens of lineups this past weekend at 5,700. So, I mean, you know, when you see Amari Cooper, you know, in that range, and it's all thanks to CeeDee Lamb. He's still the number 1 wide receiver on that team, but DraftKings is not pricing him as such. So I love it. Yeah, I think I like your sirloin better as well. That's nice.
What's going on here, man? What's going on? You stealing my sirloins?
I want your fillet and your sirloin. I'm gonna have a bite of both of those. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to hear your cube steak because you've been hitting on the cubes. So I'm interested in your cube this week.
Okay. Well, you highlighted this guy on the wire. I'm going with Teddy Bridge, bro. Teddy
Me too.
Bridge.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. 53. Is that right? Is that what he is?
55.
55. Okay.
55.
55. And then Judy's 53.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's my cube right there. I you got 39-2 to build the rest of your lineup. And yeah, Judy's back. He's getting peppered with targets, and that offense, it really I mean, we've all known that. I mean, if you went and put Deshaun Watson on that football team, I mean, they have so many weapons, and Jerry Judy
They're probably their best
right
one.
there with Cortland Sutton as the best, um I like I like this as a a cube. You never know, because they could they could get down at the red zone, and they have those two amazing backs. You never know which one of them is going to get it, which is always frustrating. But yeah, in terms of a cube, I would do a few lineups and throw Judy in there. You can throw Patrick in there. I think he's 4,900. Yeah.
Sutton's 56. He's priced down. So
Nice.
any of them are available, really, if you wanted to do it. And that was my cube. Mine was a cube with a choice of your side. You can pick anybody that you want. I mean, even last week, Albert O had value at 2,600. So they're getting the ball around, and I like both the running backs too. I mean, I'm gonna mea culpa on Melvin Gordon and say that I think Javonte Williams is running better. I mean, he rushed for over 100 yards last week, but there's still value in Melvin Gordon for sure. I just didn't see it. Just like the James Conner miss. James Conner, not great last year. I think really what it is he's better now because he's wearing a single digit, and that was holding him back. And then last year he had on 33 or something. It's just too big of a number on the back. And now he's got that 6. He can just boom. He's quick. That's my thought.
Yeah, I mean, Connor, well, he kind of got a year off to kind of rest his body, and he's not that old yet. So, and just the Cardinals are just good. I mean, they're just everything, every aspect. They're just good football team. They're a ton of weapons. But yeah, with Melvin Gordon, man, I think Javonte Williams is slightly better. That's how good Melvin Gordon still is. I mean, everybody wants to just hate on the dude, but he's good. He's good. Javonte Williams is fantastic. I mean, that guy is. I mean, he has all the trappings of becoming an elite player at this position. Again, it's almost like a AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones situation. It's just two amazing backs on the same team. I mean, either one of those guys, if the other one goes down, is going to just put up monster numbers.
I agree 100%. So that's it, folks. That is the DFS Stacks of Cash. Please do cash in and win yourself some money using those plays, and let us know. Throw it back in our face. Let's have it taste. Say, hey, I won all the money and you won none, and you're not a millionaire yet, but I am. Please, if you win the Million Maker off of our picks, let us know. We'll tout you for sure. All right, let's jump into my secret favorite segment of the show. And what I just do live to share with you is 3 tweets. So I'm going to cue 3 tweets up, and I have a bonus 3 tweet this week that it's a personal one that I want to share. It's not part of the silliness, but I'm going to lead with it real quick. And it is this tweet. I just want to shout out the Washington Capitals, who have invited myself and my daughter London and my wife Rose and Adelaide to this Sunday's Capitals versus Penguins game as part of Hockey Fights Cancer and the initiative they have just to really care for kids and their families. It's amazing. And so
that's so cool.
And then during the game, they are going to they've done a video. They've come to our house a couple times and shot video. They're going to air London's story, which Caps have already tweeted it out and shared it on their Twitter, which is really nice. But they're going to share it in front of 20,000 fans, and so we're going to be there in attendance, and we're going to get to watch it. And so I just wanted to shout out the Caps because this is a team that I grew up loving my whole life. Like it's been my favorite sporting team by far. So yeah, man, the Caps, you guys, you're gonna make me cry sure on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm getting misty, bro. That's awesome.
I'll be weeping. So I just wanted to share that with everybody, and I appreciate everybody's support. I mean, I tweeted it out today, and I don't know if I can see how many likes and stuff it has, but 45,000 impressions. A bunch of people retweeted it, liked it. It's so encouraging. Oh, here we go. 222 likes already. So it's just so encouraging to get that love from the community for London, and then also for the Caps and from the Caps. So that's my first tweet. It's just like an homage to the Caps. But here's my first tweet for 3 tweets, and I guess if I can make this big, because it's
Justin Jefferson.
I could watch this all day.
I know. What is he doing?
He's swinging his arms.
He's going full Tasmanian devil mode.
Yes. It's like he doesn't know what to do with his hands, like Will Ferrell in Talladega Nights. He's like, what do I do with my hands?
Yeah, he's just going psycho, trying to scare everybody.
I know. Marlon Humphreys blocks him down, and then he turns around and helps make the tackle.
Falls down like a Bama.
I know. And he falls down right in front of Dalvin Cook and almost trips Dalvin Cook too. So
this is like how my son and me wrestle. That's my son. And I'm Marlon Humphrey, and then this is what happened,
bro.
Yeah,
Marlon
sorry.
Shrugged him off with his arm. If you watch it 10 more times,
it's great. Let's watch this 10 more times. I mean, it just gets better and better.
As he comes in, you think he's not going to do it again. He does it every time. There he is again. And his little push, he doesn't even push very well. He just bumps him with his shoulders. It's worse than the Tim Tebow block. It's terrible. So
I don't know if it was as bad as that. They literally cut him as soon as they saw that.
Dude, no offense to Tim Tebow. Like, I played football in high school. I can tell you this 100%. I could deliver a hell of a better block than that. That's what I did, man. I'm 230 pounds right now, but I was 265 and a blocking machine. You're a bitch, Tim Tebow, for that block. You should have gotten cut.
He's about 265 too.
He looked like such a Bama. He's all muscled up like a huge guy. And then, like, my sister could block better than that. Like, he just collapsed to the ground like he had an aneurysm in that block. It was just the saddest thing I've ever seen.
It really was. I mean, it's just not what a tight end does. That's just not.
No.
You got to sell out, man, if you want to make the football team.
Gotta handle your business, man.
Right.
So, all right. Jumping onto yours.
Okay, so this is the Natalie Portman meme. It's just a great meme. It's the Natalie Portman, and instead of
Anakin.
Yeah, Anakin. It's got Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers says, "Yeah, I'm vaccinated." And Natalie Portman says, "Against COVID, right?" And then it just closes up on his face, him smiling, and then it's Natalie Portman saying, "Against COVID, right?"
Oh, I love this. This is one of my favorite Aaron Rodgers memes.
That's such a good one, man. Right? I mean, that's literally what he did. It was like, it's like the ultimate like kid lie. I mean, he basically almost did that. He said he said I'm immunized.
I'm immunized. Yeah, I'm immunized. But against what? Right.
It's like against measles. Like, it's like fingers crossed. I mean,
double touch blue, make it not true. I mean,
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I
That meme was my. I mean, there's been so many good ones, but that was my favorite. I mean, that was
Yes.
so perfect for what happened.
I agree 100%. But I will say this. I will not. I don't know who won. I don't know who won. So if you want to throw a tweet in there, you can. I have another tweet, and it just happens to be of Aaron Rodgers. So I'll just throw mine in there, and you can throw yours in there too. This is my tweet of Aaron Rodgers. It says Aaron Rodgers finding out that Flintstones vitamins don't count as the vaccine. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and so this was one of my tweets that went viral, had 205 likes. I love that. And it is so wild. This whole story is just so silly. And to listen to Pat McAfee kiss his ass on the interview might be the thing that made me the sickest, because his lead up to Aaron Rodgers is basically like, fuck the haters, man. And then Aaron Rodgers canceled himself after that. He took the bull and just got gored right after that. So yeah,
No, that's good. Let's keep going. I have more Aaron Rodgers ones since we're doing bonus here.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one. I'll send you this one right now. This is another really good one. I like this one.
This is the one I have up now is from Pat Thorman, who I love. Pat Thorman. He's a friend of Denny's. And he says, was impressive to see Dak, Allen, Carr, Mahomes, and Stafford support Aaron Rodgers by not showing up this week.
Yeah. I just sent you another one. Here's another good one.
Let's go back and get another bonus one here from Collins. From Dave Dameshek. And it says, so all this time he was growing his hair out to be Cole Beasley. That's the funniest one I've seen.
Oh, here's another good one. This is from our boy Joey Molinaro. Look at this.
I love Joey. It says, Rodgers really going to make us all have to talk about him and the vaccine with our family on Thanksgiving. Why he won't have to? What a bitch. That might be my new favorite. This is the best. Yeah, we're all going to be subjected to this stupid talk about Aaron Rodgers, and he's just going to be out with his girlfriend, his fiance, just him and Miles Teller, just yucking it up. So no, this is perfect. We had not talked about Aaron Rodgers in the show because I wanted to save it for 3 tweets and to talk about it now. But man, that guy was one of my heroes, and now he's just like an uncle who you're like, yeah, he's cool. You know what I mean? But he's kind of crazy, So
yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, it's going to be an interesting storyline if the Packers make the Super Bowl, which I think
they could.
I think they will. Yeah. I mean, they lost that game versus the Chiefs. There's no way they would have lost that game with Aaron Rodgers. They would have mopped the floor with the Chiefs.
They could only score 13 points. They look terrible.
Oh my goodness, dude. I mean, that game would have been 31-14. What did they score? They scored 13?
13, yeah.
13, right. 13-7. So I mean, that would have been 31. It would have been 31-13. That game would have been completely different. Jordan Love, I mean, you can understand why Aaron Rodgers was apoplectic when they drafted him. I mean, that guy is
Turd Fergus.
Just get back on the bench and hide and keep clocking paychecks, bro. You are not cut out for this league, man. And it was interesting to see him step in. I've heard different people talk about him that, he really does have the right makeup to be an NFL quarterback. Man, it's just one game, so the sample size is it's hard to judge. But dude, the lights were too bright for that guy. I mean, he was just, oh my goodness, and that's just not a good sign when you're at this level, man. Like you need guys that have that swag. So forget Jordan Love though. The Packers are legit, man, and they got a loss, which the NFC is going to get tight. But I mean, you saw them beat the Cardinals with
Yeah.
no wide receivers. I mean, they are legit. So it's going to be interesting when Uncle Aaron potentially makes it to the Super Bowl, how they deal, how the media deals with all this. And it's been crazy to watch someone who really has been a darling of the media, a potential Jeopardy host,
Yeah.
just fall it right in front of our eyes. It's wild to see it.
Aaron Rodgers thought that it was 2020. He was having his 2020 meltdown, and except he's having it in 2021. And that's the problem. We all had our meltdowns there, and we all grew our hair out, grew our beards out last year, and then we got vaccinated. And then
I still want to know what he means by immunized, because what does he mean? Is it because I read, I honestly, I feel bad for him because I know that this is true. He's saying that he's allergic to the 2 mRNA ones, which that's I feel, bad for him, if that's true. Honestly, I don't know. You can't believe a word that guy says.
Right.
So
Right.
what are you gonna do? I wish I knew what he meant by immunized. Is he talking about his measles shot, or what is this alternative way that because he petitioned to the NFL? Like, what is he like?
Right.
Yeah, I took my Flintstone vitamins, I'm immunized. Like, he just went from being this like so respected, even to say that word immunized, that tricky little word. So he's like not lying. And then you find out like we still don't know what his immunization was.
Right.
That hasn't been revealed, correct?
No, nothing's been revealed. He's not really said much about it afterwards,
Yeah.
So, the thing that kind of gets me though is that if you are not vaccinated, right, there are protocols that you have to go through.
Right.
And he's not adhering to them. He was not wearing his mask. He was showing up at press conferences without. That to me is the problem. It's because it's about everybody else. That for me, I'm not wearing a mask mostly for myself. I'm wearing a mask for other people. I'm wearing a mask for my family. I'm wearing a mask for my students. I'm wearing a mask for everybody I come in contact with because I don't want to potentially maybe get them sick. That's what I'm doing it for. I got immunized, as he says, the real vaccine, right? I got vaccinated for my family and for my daughter. And so, he doesn't have somebody to do that for. Sadly, maybe he doesn't love himself that much. But you know what? That's okay. People don't have to get the vaccine, but you can't lie about getting the vaccine. You can't make people think you have had the vaccine.
Well, that is the controversy with all this, is that
and even if he didn't lie, he assumed that you.
But he did. He lied.
He made you think he was vaccinated by.
Yeah. I mean, he pulled a trick. I mean, that is the part that why I'm saying the storyline of the Super Bowl is going to be really interesting, because if it was just if Aaron Rodgers was vaccinated, I mean, the NFL couldn't like something better except for Tom Brady in another Super Bowl. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was a darling of America, and a darling of the NFL. And now, because of this, I mean, I don't understand if the Packers should be facing some type of, will there be an investigation about this?
There should definitely be an investigation about it. There should also be an investigation. Yeah, there'll also be an investigation about the investigation into the Washington football team. So, all right. Anyway, we could go on forever and ever. Show's almost, 200 minutes, or no, 100 minutes. So it's almost 200 minutes, almost 200 minutes. Yeah, it's a Godfather episode. So appreciate you guys checking us out. I am Scott Simpson, Nimble W Numbers on Twitter, nimblewnumbers.com. You can check me out here, there, everywhere. Najee Harris going down, hard. I like it. Not going, but going down hard to tackle anyway. We'll be here every Monday, at least until the Super Bowl. We'll talk about after that, but we're here, the Fantasy Millionaires. You can follow Mike Collins on Twitter at the Ralph Macho, or the Ralph Macho, the one and only Ralph Macho. And then, check out my guy, Bo McBigtime, over at Bo_McBigtime, the work he does for me at Nimble W Numbers. Sign up for all of the stuff using Nimble. You sign up for everything. It'll just make you a better fantasy football player. And you're not going to be as rich right away, but in the end, you will make your money. Mike, what can we say to the good folks as we exit today?
As always, everybody, love spending time with you. Peace and love.
Peace and love, everybody.